Hello everyone and welcome to the YouTube channel of CrossQ. So in this video we will be discussing the quant for CET 2022. What are the important topics and what should be your strategy. Okay. So without any further delay, let's start. And there are a few announcements as well. So we have a recorded course for CET 2022 that includes 350 hours of live recordings. We have an offline revision batch starting in Aurangabad from 30th of June, JBMS batch again starting from 30th of June for those who are scoring 100 plus in mocks. You may download the CrossQ app and please make sure that if you really like this video, then don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and comment on the video. For any queries, you can contact me on the following number. Let's start. So I have divided quant into 5 parts. This is based on all the patterns of CET, that is 2016 to 2020, when the paper was set by IBPS, and 2021 the pattern changed. So I have divided the all the topics in 5 different categories. One are easy topics, one are moderate level topics, and one are is difficult topics. Then you have data interpretation and data sufficiency, and then you have out of the box topics. Now, if you have someone who is starting the quant just now and haven't read anything about the quant, this is the sequence that you need to follow. That you should be going for first the easy topics, then the moderate level topics, difficult, and then DI and DS, and then out of the box topics. Let's start. So when I say easy topics, these are what the overall quant is based on. Okay, so let's say for example simplification, approximation, number series, quadratic equation, HCF and LCM, number theory and indices. Okay, so if you ask me, the number of days required to complete this chapter should not be more than 5. Okay, that's 5 to 7 maximum days that you need uh, to complete this chapter. Now what generally students do is they directly shift to moderate or difficult topics without understanding the basics of the quant. But even if you look at the easy topics, these 7 topics will be there in the exam for at least 10 to 15 marks. So if you're someone who is not concentrating much on quant and who wants to skip quant for CET, even if you just give 7 days to these topics, I think you will be able to score at least 10 to 15 marks in the quant section, because simplification, approximation, number series, quadratic equation are must do chapters, and in the best case they will be asked for around 17 to 18 marks, or maybe sometimes 20, and in the worst case they will be at least asked for 10 marks. So anyways, so 10 marks तो यहाँ पे आपके कंफर्म हो ही जाते हैं. HCF LCM करना बहुत जरूरी है, number theory and indices as well. And if you are someone who is not very good at quant, I would suggest you to do 2 more chapters, that is forming an equation, that how to uh, put a given question in the form of an equation and how to solve the equations. These are another 2 chapters that you need to do if you are very weak at quant. Okay, so moving ahead, these are the moderate topics that are not very difficult, neither very easy, but then you can still easily cover these chapters. The one is percentage, average, ratio, proportion, and geometry. Geometry is basically based on formulas. Okay, so formula plus you need the percentage and ratios ka basic for geometry. Let's say for example, if you have something like the sides of a square are decreased by so and so, the area, then what would be the change in area? So again, this is the basics of percentage again. Okay, so geometry is when you have a certain formula plus percentage ka application, so that becomes a geometry kind of question that are asked in CET. And if you are someone who is not very good at quant, I would suggest you to go through these chapters very thoroughly, because this is what forms the basis of quant. So even if you cover just part 1 and part 2, that is the easy topics and moderate topics, you will at least score 25 marks in quant. Okay, but by covering I mean that you are thorough with all the concepts, you are thorough with all the type of questions that can be asked. You have 100% accuracy while practicing these questions. Okay, so go for this chapter in the second phase of preparation of quant. Moving ahead, now difficult topics. Now difficult topics are what? Profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest, time and work, time, speed, distance, permutation and combination, and probability. Now I have also listed down the chapters on which they are based. So if you see profit and loss is just an extension of percentage and ratios. Okay, so let's say what is profit and loss? Profit and loss is nothing but percentage. Okay, percentage chapter plus three more concepts, that is selling price, mark price, and cost price. Okay, so these are three, percentage plus these three concepts makes profit and loss. So it is as well as ठीक है, so that is pretty easy. Okay, so if you are like percentage आपका बहुत अच्छा है and you want to study some next chapter based on percentage, so you should be going for profit and loss and simple interest, compound interest. Again, simple interest and compound interest again is an extension of percentage and ratios. If you ask me what is compound interest, it is nothing but successive calculation of percentage. Okay, that is nothing but compound interest. So for these two chapters, let's say अगर आप बीच में से ही profit and loss और या simple interest, compound interest शुरू कर रहे हैं, I would suggest you to go back to the basics, complete percentage chapter first, and only then come to this chapter, that is profit and loss and simple interest and compound interest. And also if you're facing some problem in simple interest and compound interest while calculating, while understanding the question, so basically your basics of percentage are not clear. Okay, so these are the two topics which are based on percentage and ratios. Again, time and work is an extension of percentage and ratios, but more of ratios, less of percentage. So time and work has its own concept, and it also involves calculations based on ratios. Let's say for example M1 D1, okay, kind of M2 D2, the ratio of efficiency is 2:3, and something extra. Okay, so basically if you are thinking of doing this time and work, so it has its own concepts, and plus there are calculations involving ratios and percentage as well. Now once you're done with time and work, so time and time speed distance, I would say, is nothing but brother of time and work, where time is time, okay, speed is nothing but efficiency. Okay, that is again a concept in time and work, and distance is nothing but work. So if you correlate these two chapters, it will be very easy for you to understand these two chapters. Rest all the things are same, but there are another two types of time speed distance problem, that is nothing but problems on trains and problems on boats and streams. Okay, so this is an extra concept. The concept is pretty easy again, but then based on ratios as well. Moving ahead, so let's say if you don't want to do these chapters, like you find this very calculation intensive, and if you are someone who is very good at logical reasoning and want to do some logical chapters, so I would suggest you to go for permutation and combination and probability. So because these chapters, to be very honest, have very little basics of quant. Okay, so अगर आपका लॉजिकल रीजनिंग थोड़ा अच्छा है, सो लॉजिकल रीजनिंग एज इन आपका लॉजिकल थिंकिंग में कह रहा हूँ, अगर आपका थोड़ा बहुत भी लॉजिकल थिंकिंग सही है, सो इसमें बस एक छोटा सा कैलकुलेशन लगता है मल्टीप्लिकेशन वगैरह का, एंड द रेस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स आर सॉर्टेड फॉर परम्यूटेशन एंड कॉम्बिनेशन एंड प्रोबेबिलिटी एज वेल. So as I said, if you're someone who doesn't want to invest a lot in quant, but is good at logical thinking, so I think these are the two chapters that you should go for. You can, if you want to, you can skip obviously, but if you are aiming for JB, you cannot skip anything. But just a suggestion to how to form the sequence of the chapters. Moving ahead, data interpretation and data sufficiency. So there are two types of DIs, that is calculation based DI. So calculation based DI are basically based on percentage, average and ratio. So अगर आपके ये तीन चैप्टर्स अगर आप कर लेते हो अच्छे से स्टार्टिंग में ही, तो आपका कैलकुलेशन बेस्ड DI इजीली कवर हो जाता है. ठीक है. Then there is a conceptual DI. Now conceptual DI are basically based on any chapter. I will tell you just how the conceptual DIs are made. So basically अगर आप देखते थे तो कैलकुलेशन बेस्ड DI भी कोई ना कोई टॉपिक पे ही बेस्ड है, दैट इज परसेंटेज, एवरेज एंड रेशियो. बट कंसेप्चुअल DI जो आजकल काफी ट्रेंड में है बैंकिंग एग्जाम्स में, लाइक लेट्स से टाइम एंड वर्क का एक DI बना दिया, टाइम स्पीड डिस्टेंस का एक DI बना दिया, लेट्स से प्रोबेबिलिटी का एक DI बना दिया. सो इस पे काफी ज्यादा DIs हम लोग बना सकते हैं. बेसिकली क्या हो रहा है, सिर्फ एक क्वेश्चन की जगह हम लोग 5 क्वेश्चंस बना रहे हैं, नथिंग एल्स. So if you are someone who is very good at concepts of different chapters, you shouldn't be worrying about the conceptual DI. लेकिन क्या कीजिए कि हर एक चैप्टर का एक एक कम से कम conceptual DI प्रैक्टिस करके जाइए एग्जाम में. Moving ahead. So data sufficiency is a very easy topic. So कम से कम 5 मार्क के लिए आता है जनरल CET पैटर्न में. So अगर आपका क्वांट अच्छा है तो ये बहुत इजी है, बहुत ज्यादा इजी चैप्टर है, provided that your concepts are very clear. So this is based on all the chapters, that is किसी पे भी क्वेश्चन बना सकते हैं, be time and work, probability, permutation, combination or anything of that sort. ठीक है. Moving ahead, now this is the most important thing, that are the out of the box topics. So what are the out of box topics? Are nothing but logarithms, integration and differentiation, matrices, trigonometry, and others as well. Okay, I would also include clocks here. So clocks आप लॉजिकल रीजनिंग में डाल दीजिए या क्वांट में डाल दीजिए, चॉइस इज योर्स, बट क्लॉक्स इज बेसिकली बेस्ड ऑन टाइम स्पीड डिस्टेंस कंसेप्ट, सो वो मैं क्वांट में ही रखूंगा. So these are the out of the box topics. Why I call them out of the box? Because these were the questions from these chapter were asked in 2021 CET. Okay, the nature of the questions was very basic. ओके, सो लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल डायरेक्टली डिफरेंशिएशन पूछा था, किसी का इंटीग्रेशन पूछा था, लॉगरिथम का काफी बेसिक क्वेश्चंस था, मैट्रिसेस के क्वेश्चन डिफिकल्ट थे, ट्रिग्नोमेट्री के क्वेश्चंस डिफिकल्ट थे. सो शुड वी इन्वेस्ट टाइम इन दिस चैप्टर्स? सी, as far as the syllabus is concerned, they are not defined in the syllabus, but last year आपका इसमें से क्वेश्चन आ चुका था. सो इफ यू आर समवन हु हैज कवर्ड ऑल द टॉपिक्स ऑफ क्वांट एंड और ज्यादा कुछ, वो कहते हैं ना कि फुल 100% आपको प्रिपरेशन करना है, सो यू कैन इन्वेस्ट 2 days इन दिस चैप्टर्स, नॉट बियॉन्ड 2 days. कि अगर क्वेश्चन आया तो अटेम्प्ट करेंगे, चांसेस आने के है या नहीं है, बट टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट कम है. सो दीज आर द आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स चैप्टर्स दैट यू नीड टू स्टडी. ठीक है, प्रोवाइडेड कि अगर आपके पहले के चैप्टर्स खत्म है तो डायरेक्टली इस पे जंप मत कीजिएगा. So I hope I was able to cover all the syllabus of the quant. If you have any further queries or any further suggestions, do drop them in the comment section. And that is all in this video. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, guys. Till then, take care.